questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the UCL M&A Group's brand new Diversity and Inclusion Week. My name is Nicola, and I'm the head of speaker relations at the group, and alongside me is Steven, our speaker relations executive. Following the huge success of our M&A Monday series, we felt obligated to address the importance of the diversity and inclusion topic within the investment banking industry as the society with the largest social media presence in the UK. Therefore, during this 7-day event, you can expect interviews with heads of diversity and inclusion of leading investment banks, M&A advisors, and panel events, which will help students coming from diverse backgrounds break into the industry.
Thank you, Nicola. So today we're continuing our inaugural Diversity and Inclusion Week, where we'll be interviewing Ariel Mangoua. Ariel is an analyst at PJT Partners. Before this, he's had a plethora of work experience on various deals, plethora of experience working on various deals at different investment banks across a range of locations, including the UK and France. Ariel has also completed a master's in corporate finance at Emlyon Business School in France, and we're excited to talk to him today. So without further ado, how are you today, Ariel?
Hi guys, hi everyone. Thanks a lot for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just for the first question, we want to go about a bit more about your career path. So could you give us some insight into your career progression so far? And how did you find the transition from in French investment banking office to a UK office? And are there any differences in working styles that you particularly noticed?
Sure. So I was born in Ivory Coast, actually. I was born in Ivory Coast, West Africa. I moved to France when I was 10 years old. And so I grew up there, I studied there, did all of my internship there. So I did 2 internships. In France, we don't have summer internships. It's only long-term internships, kind of cycle. You do 6 months, and at the end, maybe they extend an offer, maybe they don't. So I did my last internship at Lazard. I spent 6 months there, and then I moved to the UK in January 2020. I joined UBS, and I spent a little bit more than a year there. And most recently joined PJT as an analyst, second year analyst in the investment banking team. So covering M&A and strategic advisory, as we call it here. With regard to second question, difference between France and UK, oh gosh, there's a lot. First of all, we wouldn't have this conversation if it was in France. I think that's the first one, approach to racial diversity. There's a lot of things that's going on in France. There's a lot of action that companies and, corporations are taking in France with regard to diversity, but it's more toward women and men equality. The racial aspect of it is more taboo as of today. So we don't have this kind of event. It's more like women in finance, but we don't have this kind of conversation with, black people in investment banking or black people in consulting and so on. So that's number one. That's it's kind of shocking when you when you see this kind of event, when you come here. I've never been in the UK before I started at UBS. So it's kind of a shock that, people are more open to this kind of conversation. Second one, I say it's a more international environment, in Paris, and I'm sure that's the same with all the local office at Milan or Frankfurt. It's only local people. In Paris, there's only French people there because you have to speak French and you have to be perfectly fluent in French if you want to work there. So chances are there's only French people working there. As opposed to here in London, you have Italian, you have people from Spain, people from, Greece, you have people from Germany, and it's more international. And the network that you build is more international. People you meet, they come in from different backgrounds. It's very diverse, and that's number two. Number three, I said that in London or here in the UK, there's more like a networking culture that we don't have in France. You're kind of forced to take part of networking events. And it's kind of, for me at the beginning, I felt like it's a bit fake, it's like, I didn't like it, to be honest with you. I didn't like all those, those events and people trying to be friends with each other. It's kind of a little bit fake. but it's very important here. Even it's not just like as part of the recruiting process, even as an analyst or as a full-time employee, you still have to do that a lot, and it's really part of the job. And finally, I want to say that here people use more diplomacy, if I can say that, when they communicate with you. You know, in France, it's more like direct. If you do something wrong, they say, okay, you know, what was that? Whereas here, you know, it's more smooth. And yeah, there's more, you know, people using more, you know, how can I say that? It's more politic and, you know, they're using more diplomacy when they communicate, and they're being more smooth, whereas in France, it sometimes can be tough. So yeah, I mean, to me, that's the main difference that I've seen. So yeah.
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you. I really like the parallels between France and England. I never really expected that when you look at like a France investment bank and a UK investment bank. I really didn't really expect that at all. So going on to our next question. So from your experience, how have you found being a Black man working in an investment bank? Have you faced any difficulties? Has there been people around you to support you as you've been working in different banks? So yeah, can you just shed a bit more light on
that? Short answer is no. I've never felt like as a black man, and I've been facing any challenges or whatsoever. I mean, also, I don't focus much on that, to be honest with you. I don't pay attention to that. If somebody wants to be racist, I mean, there's racists everywhere. You know, you go to supermarket, you know, people can be racist. It's not a reason not to go there anymore. So I don't pay much attention to that. I stay focused on what I want to do and what I want to achieve. So maybe that's why I don't see it like that. But I don't think that I have faced any racism in the industry so far. Even when I was in France, no. I mean, honestly, no. And that's a good thing. I guess that's a good thing.
That is a good thing to hear. Has anybody been there to support you whilst you've been at different banks, like a mentor per se, just to help you as you started your role and transitioned into like the UK and things like that?
So can you say it again?
Yeah. So have you had like anybody with you, like a mentor or like a buddy, as you transition from France into the UK, working in an investment bank?
So basically, when you start as a full-time analyst, and I guess that's the same at any of those large banks, you get like paired with some kind of buddy, right? And so yes, short answer is yes. But to me, most important was that I already had some friends, you know, because there's a lot of French people moving to London, started in London. So I knew some people from Lazard starting in London as well. Same time, even at UBS, there were, I don't know, in my class maybe 4 or 5 French people. So it's kind of easier, you know, because you're together with them. If you have any questions, you know, you can help each other, and you know, even outside of work, on weekends, you can get together, and it's just easier. It makes your life easier. And back to your previous question, it's not that I haven't faced, not only that I have not faced any racism, but I have not seen anybody facing any racism in the industry. So I just want to make that clarification as well. So yeah, I mean, to me, the transition from moving to France to the UK, it was smooth because of you know, the people that I knew already, and I had a lot of friends here already, and the fact that the French community is actually huge here in London, so it was easy.
That makes sense. Thank you. So on to our next question. So given the events of last year, so all the racial justice that happened last year with the killing of George Floyd and how banks responded to this. So what was your experience of banks responding to this? Because you mentioned at the time you were at UBS. So how did UBS per se respond to this? And have you seen in fact PJ2 do anything as well with regards to racial justice?
Yeah, so I would say it kind of opened the discussion around racial diversity a little bit more. So people became aware of the situation. Like they just acknowledge that, okay, there might be an issue here. You know, there might be an issue, and but most of the firm, and including UBS, because I was at UBS at that time, they've already started like several. They already took several actions, you know, with regard to diversity. I mean, UBS is doing a great job with that regard. They have like a reverse mentorship program. You know, you get paired with the senior banker, and you meet with the senior banker. I don't know, every month or so, and you discuss those issues, and they try to take your advice on how they can improve. And UBS is also working with various organization, like I think that's called Mosaic or something, where they have like event and they can meet students, and you know, they were already doing well with that regard, but the George Floyd event, I think, kind of emphasize, you know, on the fact that there might be an issue there, and they just, I mean, keep on doing what they have been doing, and I think that they're doing pretty well at UBS, to be honest with you. With regard to PJT, I think it's the same. I mean, just bear in mind that first, PJT is still a relatively young firm. Started in 2015, post Blackstone spinoff. But so far, I mean, they started like focusing on women diversity, and I mean, to be honest, they've been doing very well. If you look at top management at the firm, there's a lot of women, you know, CFO and all this kind of top management in C-level position. With regard to racial diversity, I know that they launched a Black professional network, which is global, and it's starting in September of this year. You know, just to connect Black professionals from the London office together with the New York office. I mean, all around the world. So we can discuss those issues. You can be a coach, you can be mentored, which is really important, because if you want to improve, you need to, you know, mentorship, I think, is key if you want to improve. And we have actually a partner here at PJT, which is who is Black. So I think it's very important. And yeah, I mean, again, at Lazard in France, it was different, you know, because it's a little bit taboo. But here in London, before and post George Floyd, I felt like people were actually aware of these issues, and they were actually already doing a lot of stuff with that regard.
Thank you on those insights. It's especially great to hear that PJT is taking so many initiatives to further grow the diversity within the firm. And now for this question, it's more of a personal one. So at the start, you mentioned that you went from Lazard to UBS, and now you're in PJT. So in regards to a career progression, what are your next steps within PJT?
Look, I hope next step will be promotion to associate level. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that would be natural next step, right? You want to do, I mean, first of all, you want to put all the necessary effort. You want to improve. You want to improve from the technical point of view. You want to be a better modeler. You want to, you know, you want to improve. You want to be a better banker, and you also want to network a lot, because it's important. You know, it's important not just now, but even later on in your career. You want to network. You want to, you know, to make sure that you build a strong relationship with the people that you currently meeting. So yeah, I mean, next step will be hopefully promotion. Yeah. And I mean, get ready for that too, because it's not automatic. You have to, you know, you have to deserve it, right? So yeah.
Thank you. So on to our final question. So a lot of the members from the UCL M&A group and a lot of our viewers come from underrepresented backgrounds within finance. So if you could share with them one tip or one piece of advice, what would you advise them on?
Advice on how to get into the industry? Is that the question?
Just a piece of advice to like encourage them and and like keep pushing them to go for these roles, even though they might be underrepresented in them.
Yeah, so my advice, guys, would be don't focus much on your differences, on the fact that you're coming from a minority or whatsoever. Just keep focusing on what you want to achieve and put in all the necessary effort and sacrifices to reach your objective. You know, there will be like racists everywhere, or if people want to be stupid, they want to be stupid. You cannot change their mind. It will take more effort, and actually it won't even be effective, but you can change the way you react to that. So just focus on what you want to achieve, and keep your heads down, and work a lot and work hard, and I'm sure that good thing will happen. I mean, there's a lot of, even if regardless your background, you can always find people that coming from the same background as you that are already in the industry. If it's banking, if it's consulting. So if they were able to make it, there's no reason why you cannot make it. So just focus on what you want to achieve, on your goals, and I'm sure you're gonna do well. So yeah, that's really my advice.
That was very inspiring and enlightening. Thank you. So Ariel, thank you once again for taking the time to talk to us today and sharing your insightful experiences and your knowledge with us and our members. The gems the gems that you've dropped have been invaluable, and really once again, we just want to say thank you to all our members and all our viewers that are watching today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends, and share Ariel's knowledge with them as well. And that's it from me, Nicola and Ariel. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.
Thank you all. Have a nice day. Cheers.